Hi, this is Sailaja. I am going to give a presentation on data mining tasks. This is the agenda of my presentation, in which I am mainly discuss on what is data mining, why do we need to mine a data, and some data mining tasks with examples. Finally, the conclusion. What is actually the data mining? It is a process of extracting a knowledge or hidden patterns from any large size repository such as databases, data warehouses, or World Wide Web. Actually, this is different from the normal information processing where we retrieve the data that is directly present in the database. Coming to the data mining, here we extract the knowledge which is not directly there in the or existing in the database. It is somewhere hidden inside in the data. So this data mining is also called as KDD, that is knowledge discovery from data. See here, pause the video for a moment and think about the question, why do we need to mine a data? And write your responses in your journal and then come back to the video. So actually the need for this mining is day by day the electronic data is growing tremendously and it is stored into the different warehouses. So it is very important for the business corporates in order to know well about their data or something the interesting hidden patterns mined in their data stored in the database. So it is useful for the scientists also, and they mainly go with segmentation of the data. So these are the some of the main tasks of a data mining. So the first one is a classification, second is clustering, association, rule analysis, and prediction. So classification is the major task of data mining, in which we mainly predict the class labels of unseen new data based on the data tuples with the known class labels. So the main application areas are like if any new customer comes to the store, as the shopkeeper, I would like to predict whether he is going to buy a computer in the store or not. So based on the old customer's data, I will guess whether this person is going to buy a PC in my store or not. Similarly, as a bank manager, I would like to know whether the sanctioning of loan to a particular applicant is a safe or risky. So these kind of tasks can be done by using a classification. So this is mainly of a two-step process. In the first step, we train the model by creating a classifier from the training data tuples for which the data labels are already known. And in the second phase, we test the accuracy of a classifier, how well it is classifying the known data tuples. So generally this phase is carried out by using a separate set of data samples, nothing but the test data set. So once the accuracy is met, that is it is up to the expectation level, then we use that classifier for predicting the new data tuples, class label of a new data tuples. So the most importantly used classification algorithms are decision tree induction, backpropagation, Bayesian classification, and rule-based classifier. See, in each of this classification technique, the model that we built will have a different forms. Suppose if you take a decision tree induction in which the built classifier is in the form of a tree-like structure. Whereas in backpropagation, we use a neural network with the inner layers and outer layers in order to predict the class label of the new data tuple. In Bayesian, we use a probability statistics in order to determine the probability of belongingness of a particular tuple to the given classes. If then rules are used in the rule-based classification. Most importantly, this classification is also called as a supervised learning method, because so in the first phase of the classification, we will train a model using the data tuples for which the class label is known. Nothing but we are training the model based on the known class label data tuples. That's why this is called as a supervised learning method. Now here, pause a video for a while and think what could be the other applications for classification of a data mining task, and come back to the video. Next is a prediction task, so in which we mainly predict the continuous valued function. So here the continuous valued function is nothing but a numerical value. So this can be done by using different techniques like regression analysis and log linear model. So the best example for prediction is I want to guess whether how much amount the customer can spend on buying a store. So here we are guessing for the budget of a customer in buying a computer. Similarly, as a bank manager may able to know how much amount that he can sanction to an applicant so that the bank is in a safe mode. Next data mining task is a clustering, in which we group the similar objects into one cluster. So here in this picture you can see the different clusters. There are 3 groups, and any clustering algorithm works on the principle that maximizing the intercluster similarity and minimizing the intracluster similarity. Nothing but all the objects within the cluster must have a similar features when compared to the objects of other cluster. So clustering algorithms are k-means algorithm, hierarchical and density based algorithms. In contrast to classification, clustering is called as unsupervised learning because it learns the model by using the observations. That means the given tuples doesn't have any class labels. So we can use this clustering in different applications like fraud detection and separating the similar group of text documents and finding the similar group houses in the real estate business. So association rule mining is the another major task of the data mining. Generally this is used in the transactional databases. Here we can see the example transactional database consisting of some set of items like this, in which we find out which of the items are purchased frequently by the customers. So after the observation we can come to the conclusion that milk and coke are appearing many times in the different transactions of the customers. Nothing but they are treated as a frequent item sets. So once the frequent items are identified, then a strong association rules are generated, and here we can see some sample association rule generated out of this. So this says that if a customer buys a milk, then he tends to buy a coke also. In the second rule, diaper and milk are purchased together, and another third item is also purchased, one is a beer. So finally I conclude my presentation with a statement that the data mining tasks perform some kind of analysis over the data and finally come up with the hidden patterns. And this hidden pattern or knowledge is very useful for the decision makers to take the decisions in order to improve their business sales. Thank you.